I like to think that I spend most of my days making animals happy. Earthworms frolic and the soil deeper than I found it. In reality, I spend most days running logistics and ordering feed and making sure people are cared for and fences are intact and the bills get paid. So it's a multifaceted job. I mean, it's definitely a 12-hour day, 7-day a week gig. But it's also a rarely rewarding one because I get to see mothers of children who have environmental health disabilities or have sensitivities to certain foods, and they haven't been able to eat a whole category of foods, and then they can suddenly eat things again that they wouldn't have been able to eat because the sausages don't have funny business in them and because the animals were raised fairly well. It was just really, really important to me to feed my animals non-GMO food. I felt like if I was going to go through the trouble of raising my own animals, even if it was just for me, it was going to be better than what I could get in the grocery store and better than what I could get at the farmer's market at the time. At that time in North Carolina, you could not buy a pastured egg from a chicken who ate GMO-free feed. It did not exist in 2007 when I started doing this. I didn't really believe that the kind of reporting that I was doing was making the difference that I wanted to make in the world. And that came out of some reading that I started doing about food. Because I'm a journalist, I researched, right? And I read a lot. And so it first started with reading about the food that I didn't want to eat, and then I started reading about the food that I did want to eat, and then I figured out that the food I did wanted to eat didn't really exist. Hey girl. You were asking before about why I left journalism and why I wanted to start raising food. I think I decided to do that because I wanted to stop shouting at the wind, because the only thing that was doing was making me really angry. And I felt like if I was going to make a change, I had to be the change. I could no longer look the other way at the way in which the animals and the earth and the people who were involved in that agricultural system were treated. I know the story of what's on that plate. I know the people who raised it, I know the people who harvested it, I know how that animal lived, I know how that carrot lived. And I think a huge component of health and well-being is being connected in that way, to one another, to the earth, to the animals. And so if I eat pork from the grocery store, then I'm complicit in a system that abuses hogs, that abuses people, that abuses wildlife, that abuses the soil, that abuses the watershed, that abuses the ocean. I mean, the abuses are endless.